Evening VC. Dave here. Got a lot of records to share with everybody tonight. Also, want to share some interesting news. Back in August, I joined into a study with one Bobby Jane Gardner in England. And she's actually got one VC video up. But she's friends, if you know Mark and John, Dr. Rhythm from that channel. And she's working on a project as she's a PhD candidate at the Royal Birmingham Conservatoire, and it's part of Birmingham City University. And she's doing an interesting project. I've been working on it now for about a year, since last August, and she's writing a piece of music with input from members of the vinyl community, and there's just a small handful of us that joined in. And yeah, it's going along great, and starting to get some videos in, some of the work from the singers and the rhythm section, and so on and so forth. But very, very cool. About a week ago, the Earl of Wessex, Prince Edward, paid a visit to where she works there and was interested in the project. And so I thought that was pretty interesting. I haven't really contributed too much, just my input here and there, listening to all the different cuts, the different takes that she's sent through Dropbox, and making recommendations here and there on certain things as far as the music's concerned. But man, that kind of blew my mind. Very cool, and looking forward to seeing how everything finishes up here in the coming months. But yeah, this is the consent form there from about a year ago that I dug out. So very cool. So now we got records. So the first record I picked up is the new record from Pile, band from Massachusetts. Very dynamic rock band. These guys are badass. This is on Exploding in Sound. This is Green and Gray, double record. They just played up in Chapel Hill at Cat's Cradle in the back room with Scott from Lunchbox Records band, who got to open. And I think I've got, I don't know what that was. Oh. Got their cassette over here. Late Bloomer. That's their album Things Change. Scott plays drums in the band. They had the privilege of opening up for Pile, and this is the new record. This is really damn good. This is one of those bands that just keeps getting better every single album. It's something that's hard to do, with a lot of rock. The first albums are the best, and then it goes usually downhill from there, depending on who it is. But this band, every record keeps getting better. Phenomenal. Green and Gray. So I was happy to grab that. Also picked up at Lunchbox the new Pelican record, Nighttime Stories. This is limited to 500 copies on red vinyl. I haven't even been able to give this a spin yet. Only heard it online. Another band, again, keeps getting better. This is a diverse record for them. All the right kinds of heavy, though. Instrumental from Chicago. I've talked about them plenty. Highly recommended. Let's see what else we got here. Um, Picked up a bunch of reissues recently for jazz. This one's absolutely phenomenal. That's Glass Bead Games, the Clifford Jordan Quartet, originally put out on Strata East. Um, there's been a couple reissues of this put out. This is on double vinyl. This is from Pure Pleasure out of the UK. This is a phenomenal sounding record. These reissue companies overseas really are taking the time, using great pressing plants. Everything's top notch with these records, and can't recommend it enough. Beautiful packaging on the gatefold. What a lineup here. This is, geez, it's in my top 10 jazz records of all time. This is an amazing record, and a lot of these guys later on in their careers. Clifford Jordan on the sax, Stanley Cowell on piano, Billy Higgins on drums. You got Bill Lee on bass, Sam Jones also on the bass, and Cedar Walton on piano. Geez, what an album. They pay homage to John Coltrane here. Yeah, it's the 5th of the Dolphy series. Would love to find Strata East originals. They're online and the bidding wars are nuts, and I just don't get involved. So I was happy to shell out a bit of a high price on the reissue. Well worth it. This is phenomenal. So next, we got to go see Kikagaku Moyo from Japan. What an amazing band. I saw them in Neighborhood Theater here. If you follow me on Instagram at bcore7, I've got some live video up. Picked up one of their albums from them that I did not have. And this is House in the Tall Grass. Can't remember the year on this. Maybe 2016. This band is amazing. All kinds of just beautiful guitar playing. There's an electric sitar that's lead. The drummer is just a badass. Bassist as well. Psyche. It's an Indian influence, obviously, with the sitar. Man, yeah, got some Hendrix sounding riffs here and there when they get going. Yeah, check these guys out. All their records are phenomenal, and they're an even better live band. Let's see. So I went back to Lunchbox, I think the next week. Found this 7-inch, the Crown Hate Ruin Intermediate on Discord Records from 1995. Anytime I see any Discord 7 inches, I grab them because they really don't pop up hardly at all. They only ever put out one record, one full length anyway, and like maybe 4 7 inches. So I was stoked to find this. The DC, punk rock sound from that time period. The progressive stuff. Killer. And also picked up this reissue. This is one that Alex out in California had played in one of his videos, and as soon as I heard it, had to pick it up. The guitar on this is unreal. This is truly a masterpiece of its time. Abdullah Sami, Piece of Time. This was originally released in '78, and originals go for quite a bit. So was happy to get this reissue, and it's been a favorite of the VC lately for sure. Beautiful songs on here. This one, if you get any jazz reissue this year, this is the one. This is the one to get. It's not cheap, but it's well worth it. You've got Abdullah Sami on alto and percussion, Wade Barnes on the drums, German Nazario on guitar. Love that guy on guitar, man. And Hogan Jiggets on the bass. And who knows whatever happened to him after this. I'm going to have to do some exploring because I want to hear some more of this guitar. Phenomenal. Been hitting up Graveface on their Saturday morning posts. Graveface Records down in Savannah, Georgia. And picked this up. I had Volume 1 and needed Volume 2 and was stoked to get this copy cheap. The Heliocentric Worlds of Sun Ra, Volume 2. This was originally put out in 1966. I've got an original of Volume 1 that I got from Tom. And this one is a 98 Italian reissue from Get Back. And so it was really cheap and in mint shape, so jumped on it, really stoked. This is some out there stuff for Sun Ra. Some of the real early exploratory stuff from him, and happy to have it. All right, and I got this record here in the mail from one Lucas Liska. He is a jazz musician, and he also works at People's Records up in Detroit, and he's quite a Blue Note records collector, one of the very few. He goes for the OGs, and he's been selling off some of his reissues, and I was able to grab this from him. Joe Henderson, In and Out, phenomenal lineup here. Kenny Dorham on trumpet, Joe Henderson, of course, on the tenor, McCoy Tyner on piano, Richard Davis on the bass, and Elvin Jones on the drums. This was originally recorded with Rudy Van Gelder in '64. This is a 2015 reissue on Elemental, and I possibly a Spanish reissue, which I have like a Jackie McLean on this same label. Plays great. Stoked. Thanks, Lucas. Found this record on eBay. I hadn't been on eBay in months. That's a good thing. But this was just a sick deal, and one that had been on my want list for a long time. Elton Dean's 9 Cents. And yeah, this one is Oh for the Edge is the name of the album. Of course, Elton Dean from Soft Machine. It's on the Ogun label. And yeah, originally it was an OG from '76. Show you the label. I love this label. I need to find a few more records on Ogun ASAP. One of my favorites. Great British jazz label from the '70s. Love the artwork on this, and huge one off the want list. Yeah, this is I don't know, it's kind of a mix of all types of jazz, really. It's kind of straight ahead at times. It's a little bit of fusion at times. Yeah, phenomenal. Yeah, let's see what we have here. Got this record in the mail from the Polish Mafia, Tom Minko. Sun Ra and his orchestra, Pictures of Infinity. This is an original UK press from '71 on Black Lion, still in the shrink. Another huge one to add to the Sun Ra collection. Really excited about this one. Beautiful Sun Ra on the piano, and the clavulin, and then all the cast of characters are here like they're supposed to be. John Gilmore, Ronnie Boykins, Clifford Jarvis, Marshall Allen. List goes on and on. Phenomenal. Thanks, Tom. You're the freaking man. And of course, I wish you'd slow down, man. My bank account's hurting. So the next couple records. Bill at the Vinylverse came into town here to Charlotte from PA, down visiting family, and he got in touch with a bunch of us here in the area. Dylan at Noble Records, Chris from Tunes from the Man Cave down in South Carolina, and with John, Digital Gramophone from here in town, which I was unaware of. So I definitely subbed his channel, and we all met up at Lunchbox here on Tuesday night for a dig. Everybody found some great records, and then we headed over to Dylan had to run, but the rest of us headed over to Tip Top Daily Market, and yep, some more digging. And some beers and some good tacos and burgers and whatnot from the food truck. Absolute blast. Thanks again, Bill, for putting everything together. You're just as advertised. Bill is the man, and he was digging hard. And he said that like 80% of the records he had been looking at, he doesn't see in his area at all. So I was real happy for him. He found some great stuff, and I'm sure you'll see it in his next video. Yeah, everybody did well. And Chris brought a friend of his as well, and so yeah, it was a good time. And I had just one record I was really there to grab, and that was Boris live at Third Man Records. I think this was released in 2017. I think it was recorded in 2016. Boris, 3-piece out of Japan, heavier than balls, female guitar player. She is wicked. I'm going to see these guys in Asheville at the Orange Peel, I think in September. And Wada is the name of the guitar player, well, stage name anyway. And I wish for her hand in marriage. She plays, it's like Tony Iommi on crack rock. Badass, through giant orange amp stacks. Love this band. My favorite song by them is on this, Pink, originally released on a record in 2005. Yeah, if you're not familiar with Boris, check them out. Absolutely badass. And Dylan, at the meetup, brought me this record. I had mentioned that it was one I was looking for, and he had a copy, and he actually just got a reel-to-reel of this. So, man, very stoked to add this to the collection. I've got just a couple of Impulse left to go, and this was one of them. John Coltrane, Meditations. This is a 73 reissue on Impulse. Pharoah and Ali on here, along with McCoy Tyner, Elvin Jones, and Jimmy Garrison. This is where he really started getting out there. This is heavy stuff from John, and essential in the collection. And so was, man, really stoked to pick this up. Dylan is the man. He is the man. And then this arrived in the mail today. Another one from Greyface down in Savannah. Love those guys. Yeah, Mel Waldron with Eric Dolphy and Booker Ervin, The Quest. Originally released on the New Jazz label from Prestige. Oh God, what, 61 or 2 way back in the day, and this is an OJC copy from '83 in fantastic condition. I love how they redid the original purple New Jazz label, the microgroove. This is an essential jazz record, one that had been on my list for probably 3 years. First time I've seen any copy anywhere, so I jumped on it. It's a really good price. So yeah, that's everything. Whew. Been a long day. I'm jumping off here. Peace.